on Irish News Radio. Today is Monday, so we'll be having a quick look at the financial mess and the complete mess of this country as the criminals run it into the ground with the EU, the destruction of Ireland and the Irish people for the EU. It's crazy, absolutely crazy, and it doesn't get better any day. It's just worse and worse and worse, and they're getting away with complete genocide of destroying the Irish. Okay, we start off with the mess. Fianna Fáil calls out on Fine Gael and calls them a destructive party, but at the same time they are backing them and keep them in place. So really there's no point listening to them. They're all the same. Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, Sinn Féin, People for Profit are all the same for destruction. Hungary joins Italy and Poland opposing Brussels' population replacement agenda and mass migration. Recently formed Rome to Warsaw Pact, which was established to oppose the EU population replacement, to oppose Franco and German domination of the EU, vowed that there will be no compromise on this issue of migration from the Third World. Orbán says that he believes that the EU will break into two civilizations, one with a mixed Muslim version for the EU elites believe that through mass migration they can destroy national homogeneity, making them less resilient and more federal superstate. That's exactly what they're doing. While the East is more national parties rise and gain popularity. So he's very much right on that. That's what's happening there. Scary days. And our country is completely in on destroying Ireland and its homogeneity. When you have half an Indian man who absolutely hates the Irish race and the Irish culture and identity, and the French man exactly the same, and the German. The German have reason, or not reason, but you can kind of get it. Leo, because he's half Irish, he just hates them. The Frenchman, I'm not actually sure why he would hate the French homogeneity so much to set out to destroy it. But they're all on a power trip to destroy the homogeneity of the nation states. And thankfully that we have this group that are coming about and are growing popularity from Hungary, Italy and Poland stand together to fight the EU, and hopefully they will win. Otherwise we're all in a very bad place. That is the end of all our countries. If this pact can save Europe, it will be through Poland, Hungary and Italy as they work together. Please God that it works and that they do save Europe. The anti-Irish government is full force in trying to create a civil war. He's gone on about all sorts of stuff. And the latest one, that if you have a British licence, you're going to have to change it for an Irish licence. It just lies after lies after lies for the EU. He's doing anything to create a civil war, and it is pretty scary. He's trying to break the British, but it will end up, the Irish people, as I've said before, will end up paying the price for what's happening with this, pushing and plodding us into this EU. And the army, the PESCO army that they've set up, is putting us in a very dangerous situation, financially and otherwise. And the Taoiseach then, the ban on the Israeli goods, which America have stepped in and said if you do that there will be huge repercussions, as in Google, Twitter and Microsoft. So things are really bad when you don't have a government for the Irish people. You have them for everybody else, for the third world, but you don't have them for the Irish people. He wants us gone. I don't think he'll really care that after Brexit we will financially collapse, and the government will like to blame it on the British, but it's them. They knew that the British were leaving. They didn't organise it. They didn't do anything towards trade. They just kept prodding and plotting the British as if they were going to, in some way, oh, you know what, you're annoying us so much, we'll change our mind. That was never going to happen. As a government, you're supposed to be for the people. You're supposed to have a mandate, and people are supposed to vote you in, and you're supposed to be for the people and put the people of that country, the homogeneity people of that country, the native Irish first. But you didn't do that. None of you did. Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, People of Profit, Sinn Féin, you all went against the people. You went to destroy us. And I hope to God in the May elections with this Euro and the EU falls apart. And I hope all of you get taken out. And I hope to God the Irish learn their lessons. That if you don't put your own people first, who else will? This bullshit about open borders. Would you leave your doors open at night? It's all lies. You didn't see Leo or any of them taking in any of these third world so-called refugees. It's time to protect the Irish and Ireland. And we don't even have a government who are for us. At least during the famine and the independence war and the civil war, we had who actually loved Ireland, who died and killed for Ireland, who had a passion for Ireland. Leo has a love for the EU. He even calls himself, I am the European Union. And the rest of the Irish government, Fianna Fáil, Sinn Féin, have a love for migrants and Africans. They've no love for the Irish people, the real Irish, indigenous people, and there is such a thing. And it's a disgrace. Absolutely disgrace that we have no voice. And it's time, when we get out of this, if please God we get out of this mess with a hope that Poland, Hungary, and Italy pulls us out of this bloody mess and collapses or changes the EU into something that is quite different from what it is now. And that is our only hope. And if then we hopefully will learn the lesson that if we don't have a government, not one party that'll have actual interest in the indigenous population, as they call the populists. If you look up that word, it means working people, the real people of the country, then you have no country. You've no future. You've no even past. They're trying to wipe out your past. Everything about your country, it will be gone and taken into the super state where you're all the same. And it actually is destroying diversity. Diversity is that we are all different. And that's fine. And there is a certain migration that will happen. But it to be forced on you from third world who will be claiming only benefits, who mostly don't speak English, who have violent attitude towards women, is absolutely disgusting. And it's a genocide. It is a destruction of your country. And that is what our government, each party, is calling for. Again, thank you very much for listening on the Bonry Show, and I will be speaking to you tomorrow. If you have anything to say or you want to talk about anything, contact us and let us know your thoughts. Let us know your thoughts, because it is kind of going on and it is scary. Looking forward to the 29th of March at 11 p.m. when Britain breaks free to see the faces on the traitors Irish governments. And I hope Britain does, the UK, just tell the Irish government, you know what, you messed up, big time. The only problem with that is as I've said, the Irish people will pay the price. And the Irish government doesn't care, because it is us who's paying. But it is the only way that, that we can get some way back is freedom through Brexit. I do see, the UN Pact is another thing, but thankfully, as I said, we've had Poland, Hungary and Italy fighting that. So we'll see. We'll talk tomorrow. Have a good evening on the Bonry Show.
You are listening to Irish News Radio at irishnews.net. Email news@irishnews.net.